Today is probably the video you guys have been waiting for. And the reason I say that, well, this guy over here, she is finally getting tuned. And look at that, she lit up, she knows. So what is going on, fellas? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. I don't think I've ever done a video like this, but I think we are gonna try something new. We are gonna be doing all of this pretty much raw. I'm just gonna be documenting this entire thing. I'm not really gonna do much edits. It's pretty much gonna be a full day of tuning all the way from pump gas to, you know, whatever E content we get up to, which I'm probably predicting maybe E50, E60. This is my 2020 M340i, and right now we currently have the DA 6769, which is a hybrid turbo. It is the largest hybrid turbo on the market. It's pretty close to a full frame. I guess an equivalent would be like a 6870. And we have full upgraded fueling. We have a DI setup with new Dorch pump, as well as S58 injectors, and then our port injection with our new intake manifold. So this guy's got all the fuel it could ever need. And if you guys didn't know, I'm currently tuning with David Shoup. He's a pretty well-known tuner in the community. Before I was tuning with Fabian over at Pure Boost. But David's a busy guy, so we've only had a couple revisions done on pump. Right now we're sitting about 22, 23 PSI. So fellas, buckle in. We are gonna be turning this guy up. I am so excited. Obviously, I'm not really showing it right now, but this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. So there's nothing better than starting this off at 6 a.m. today, and we'll see how long it takes. But like I said, we're gonna do this very raw. You guys are gonna see basically behind the scenes of all the calibrations. You guys will probably also learn some stuff, as well as myself, especially how these platforms work, the different fueling components, what things need to be tweaked in order for a tune to run smoothly. So without further ado, what I'm gonna do now, we're gonna warm this guy up. Usually takes me about 20 minutes. We wanna get that oil circulating throughout the system so we're nice and lubricated. And then I will be giving Mr. Shoup a call. And we're gonna get this thing started. All right, it's time to give him a call. I would like to introduce you guys to Mama. This is Mama. She's a boy cat, but you know, her name's Mama anyways. She loves her belly scratches. Very affectionate. Anyways, look at this garage right now. Look at this. This is just pure B58 parts. We got an intake manifold there. We got the chrome pexes, a bunch of fueling upgrades, or not fueling upgrades, past fueling upgrades. Not even past fueling upgrades, just, you know, the old high pressure fuel pumps. Look at this. I bought this off Amazon. I should have never bought it. It's like a helmet mount for obviously like full frame camera or APS-C. I don't think I'm gonna wear that though. Yeah, we got some hood action here. Bunch of winter tires, trunk, got a bird cage. So it is quite the rowdy house in here. But I'm gonna show you guys what we do in the morning to stay hydrated. This is how I keep my ethanol up. Fellas, check it out. This right here, this stuff goes crazy, and I'll show you the trick. So you take your lime, see that? We're gonna cut this guy, and boom. We're gonna take our lime, and we are gonna squeeze that John right in to there. This is some insane sparkling water. You guys seeing this? Oh my gosh. We might even hit E85 today after this puppy. All right, cheers. So don't judge us. We still got the Christmas tree up. We just think it's cozy. You know, we want year-round coziness, and it's not a bad aesthetic. But anyways, it's time to give Mr. Shoup a call.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll let you know. Give me just a minute to digest that. I had to do something this morning.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm on the laptop now, so yeah, give me just a bit, and I'll get right back with you.
Awesome. My car's warming up anyway, so no rush.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, cheers. Bye-bye. So there you guys have it. All right, so this is a perfect time to check on our car here. Look at these mountains, though. Man, I wish I had a telephoto lens so you guys could really see this. But man, it's just, I'm so grateful to be in this area. It's just so underrated. Guys, if you have not been to Central Oregon yet, you are missing out. I mean, that view is, that's a $1 million view right there. Car's looking like it's warming up nice. We still got a bunch of frost on it. But let me pop the hood real quick and I'll kind of show you guys what we're working with right now. All right. And I will mention that we do not have a built transmission yet. I think my goals for this car was to have a built transmission in about a month from now. I just wanted to see the limitations that we'd get to. Obviously, this being a bottom mount turbo, it is very, very torquey, and 6 gears on these cars or on the ZFs, the 51s at least, definitely is your danger zone. So if you shift into that gear, if you bang into that gear at really, really high torque, that's when you're gonna bust some stuff. So fellas, check it out though. Here's the current setup. Oh, in the flesh. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to hear me over this. This Dork's pump is so loud. Anyways, we got our catch can here, upgraded intake. We got our upgraded intake manifold, FTP charge pipe. This is our port injection rail right here, fuel rail with 1050 IDX injectors. And then we have our S58 injectors in here as well. So DIPI upgraded. And then down here under this turbo heat shield, you guys won't be able to see it, is that 6769, that juicer magooser. So yeah, that is the setup. I debated really hard if I wanted to do a top mount full frame, but man, once I saw that 6769 come out, for the value you get for that, oh man, I couldn't pass up on it. I was like, top mount setup, which I probably would have done like a 6870, something around that. I don't think I wanted to do a 7275. I felt like for a daily driver, that just doesn't make sense. You know, it'd just be so sluggish, and I like the spool, especially on some of these bottom mount setups. The only reason I regret not going top mount though is just for the sound. I really, really like that turbo induction noise. What I get from this is I get a lot of intake induction noise. I can hear the turbo a little bit, but it's mainly intake. Whereas if it was a top mount, you're mainly hearing the actual turbo because it's just right there. You know, there's no intake line that's really feeding it, just, you know, the cone on the front. So the sound is one of the only reasons. You know, obviously you have a different manifold as well. You know, it changes things, but I'm pretty happy with the 6769. And according to Shoup, this thing is nasty. It's supposed to be a monster. I mean, the spool you get on this, the top end, for the price, it's gonna be interesting to see where we end up. We are gonna dyno this car once I'm fully street tuned, just to adjust the Vanos and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be interested to see what this thing is gonna make, especially on full E. I'm gonna guess somewhere mid 8s, maybe high 8s. I'd be surprised if we went into the 900s, especially because we're catted, but you never know. I'm not gonna bore you guys much more with this. This is kind of just me rambling. But yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned, man. This is gonna be such a fun video. And like I said, it is going to be raw. We are going into this boy head first, and I'm just gonna show you guys everything, and I'm not gonna cut most of this stuff out. So we're gonna finish this guy, we're gonna let it warm up, and I'll see you guys here very soon. So we just got the green light from Shoup. He just sent me the new file. We're gonna use our little MHD adapter here, plug this guy in, and get this thing. All right, we're in. And just so you guys can see, look at how cold it is. I just put this in the car for maybe 10 minutes. So it is 25 degrees out here, and it is no joke. So we're gonna put this guy in accessory mode. And then we're still on pump gas right now, like I mentioned earlier. I just got off the phone with him, and we are going to adjust the timing a little bit. So we still have like a quarter of a tank left of gas. We're gonna try to drain this, basically get the pump gas as dialed in as we possibly can before we start doing the ethanol. So you just connect to the MHD adapter, that little guy that we plugged in down there. And then we're gonna go to flash a custom map. And then the most recent one here is the revision 6. We're gonna click that, and we are going to map write this. So that is all you gotta do. You can see preparing the map file. So it's gonna do its thing. It's gonna give us all these codes and error messages, right? Cross traffic warning, 4-wheel drive system issues, drivetrain malfunction stuff. And it's basically gonna go all the way up to the top. So if you guys haven't seen this before, obviously I'm using the MHD Plus with reflex. So I got a motive reflex in there, and it's all communicating together. Why is this not focusing? And there it is. Success. So we're gonna wait 30 seconds. You have to wait for the DME to turn off. You'll hear it click. That's how you know it turned off. So once it clicks, that's how we know we're ready to go. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's showing 10 degrees. 10 degrees right now in the shade. I'm gonna try to take a sip of this real quick. Let's see. It's like a slushy. All right, we're gonna fire up. We are gonna see how this thing runs. One thing I also will note that's good to check is we go to sport displays here. We can see our oil temp. This obviously is not ideal. We want it to be close to 210. Basically, we want the car to be fully warm before we really go flat out. And that obviously just gives the oil enough time to get up to temp, fully lubricate the car, make sure nothing's gonna go wrong, obviously, because we have a lot of upgraded parts. Once we start doing ethanol, there's gonna be a lot more power. Obviously, ethanol runs a little bit cooler than pump, so that's gonna help there. There's gonna be a lot of benefits, but regardless, we wanna make sure our oil temperature is at an adequate level. Try to get some of the frost off our windshield here. All right, so how this works, we're gonna open our MHD app. We are going to go to data logging. We're gonna click that. And here is the numbers that concern us. We wanna be checking for timing. We wanna make sure our rail pressure is at a good level when we're fully flooring it, and obviously when we're idle. And then our LPFP actual, which is the PSI that's running through basically our port pump. So we got our boost here as well. I think right now he has me at like 24.5, maybe 25 on pump. So we are gonna do this log real quick. It's gonna be 4th gear. I'll actually just show you guys once we're out there. One thing I am nervous about though is just this tire setup right now. These 225s, it's on all seasons. This is like the last tire setup you want to be running on, obviously, you know, a car that's capable of big power. On pump gas, we should be fine. You know, it is a little cold right now, so we might get some kind of squirm action going, but once we actually start dumping in ethanol, fellas, we might have to do like a last minute emergency switch to the summer setup. It's supposed to get to 50 degrees today. So worst case, if we are getting really, really bad traction, then we might have to make the change. So I guess we'll see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting one. So I'm just gonna drive straight right here for a little bit. We still gotta get our oil temp up to right at around 210. That should be good enough. So I just have it in sport right now. We're not doing like crazy RPM. This would just help accelerate it just a touch. But man, look at these mountains. It's gonna be a fun one. Look at that. What a beautiful morning to get this guy fully dialed in. Hopefully we get it fully dialed in. I don't think we're gonna go all the way up to E85 like I said, but it is going to get interesting. That is for sure. Oh yeah, this log feels like it's gonna rip. I can already tell. All right, I'm gonna turn around up here and we are gonna send it 4th gear on the way back, 2500 to 6500, and we're gonna see how she goes, how she drives. So we are gonna put our traction fully off, and you'll see this will update here. So that's DSC off, and we're gonna switch into manual mode. So we have traction fully off into manual mode. We're gonna slowly roll into 4th gear here, just make sure there's no cars. All right, 2500. Let's see. We're almost there. Start log. We're gonna rip it. All right. I can already tell by that right there that this log is ripping right now. For a pump gas, that felt really quick, and we definitely got a little bit of squirm action. So fellas, I gotta get like a mount for this camera so it can sit and I can just focus. I swear, once we start doing some ethanol logs, this is gonna be cumbersome. Okay, I don't know how we're gonna do this. Just because it's gonna get a little dicey. It's gonna get a little sketchy, and we obviously don't want that. So we're gonna flip it around right here. I'm gonna upload this log to David, and we're gonna see what he says. This is my first time ever using DataZap. All you do is just scroll here, click this little share guy, and click where it says DataZap at the very bottom. Upload this. So we already have an account. Let me see if it gives me an option to sign in. So this is my first time ever using DataZap. I'm gonna log into this stuff real quick, and we're just gonna see what happens. All right, so we just uploaded. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but here's the file. I think you just click this guy, you go to copy, and then we're just gonna email this to him, and apparently this is gonna go super, super quick. And I don't know why my camera is not focusing. All right, we're gonna call David real quick. Hopefully this worked. Hopefully it's accurate.
Hey, Will.
Hey, I just sent the email with a DataZap link, and I hope I did it right, so let me know.
Okay, I will. I'll take a look at it here in just 1 second. I just gotta do something real quick. I'm away from my laptop. Give me maybe 5 minutes. Is that cool?
Cool, that works.
Hey, real quick, did the car feel any different?
Not.
Same?
Not really. I mean, it felt fast for pump, but it didn't feel. I mean,
Did you
it.
feel like it picked up compared to the previous revision?
No, it definitely was faster than the previous one for sure.
Okay, so it sounds like it got a little bit more steam in it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, yeah. Let me take a look at this, and I'll get back with you here in just a second.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thank you, bye.
Yeah. Bye. All right. There you go. 5 minutes. I think what I'm gonna do, we're just gonna drive. I gotta find a good spot to log. I don't want to just keep sitting here in this area. So we gotta. I might try to get a tan while I'm waiting. I just don't want the car to keep idling. But what do you guys think? Does this seem fun? Going back and forth logging. I think right now pump gas, it's okay. I mean, it's still fun, it's fast, but I think we're really gonna start having a good time once we do ethanol and once we're done with pump gas. Come on, trust me, you guys gotta stay tuned. This is only the beginning. And even for pump, man, that felt, that thing was moving. I'm not gonna lie, it was moving. I decided I'm gonna drive closer to the ethanol station just because we are low on pump gas. And you guys won't believe this. On the way, check engine light. I mean, it is believable. He just whipped up a quick file, so you guys can see we got a little check engine light there. I'm gonna pull up right over here and we're gonna figure out what that could be. I'm gonna predict that it has something to do with the low pressure fuel pump, the sensor saying it's not reading. I'd be very surprised if it was something else because, I mean, that seems to be the only check engine light I get. Reading DME, oh, I called it, look at that. Reflex low pressure sensor error. This always happens when I drive the car in comfort. After I rip it for a little bit, I get this sensor error. So I don't know why it does this. I feel like MHD in their recent patches said they're supposed to fix this, so I have no idea. If you guys were wondering, that's another plus about this system is you can read DME codes and all that nice jazz. So we're gonna click clear here, communicate with the DME, clearing codes, and boom, just like that, check engine light is gone. So we shouldn't have any other ones. Yeah, we're good. All right, that is taking care of that. All right, and like I said, we're gonna head close to the ethanol station just so we can start ripping logs around that area. And then if we ever need to fuel up with ethanol, we're already there. It's super quick. While we wait for that log, I decided to make a quick pit stop. I mean, look at this. The guy was like freezing as we were driving. But fellas, carbon hood is looking juicy. Very nice, very nice. The wrap is looking good too, but even better, look at these mountains. Oh man, the carbon is looking, guys, I might have to take some pics for social media. It is popping right now. This lip gloss is popping. Little walk around. Oh man, that carbon. Woo! Getting me hyped up. I gotta get some stuff for social media real quick, so just give me a sec. I mean, guys, what's that meme? It's like, how did a B-58 come from this? It's like, just look at these mountains, and then look at this guy. That's some crazy stuff. That is some crazy stuff. So, all right, enough of that. Let's see if David got back to me.
So hey, so the tune runs pretty good. It does have like 3 small corrections in it. So I believe we're probably at the limit for timing on pump gas.
Okay.
The last tune ran a lot cleaner, so I would technically say the previous tune was a little bit more safe. This one did go up to 7.5 degrees, but you know, it came at the expense of 3 small corrections. So I'd be willing to say that this 1.6 is probably about all of it on pump. But I think we should at this point go ahead and flash over to go ahead and get some ethanol in it and see how it does. It's kind of a tough call. The right decision would probably be to have you run a multi-gear pull and see how it does. If it makes a, you know, give me like a second, third, fourth. If it starts to pull timing, then we'll flash back to the other one and just say, hey, this is where it's just octane limited.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, it runs pretty good if you want to give it a shot. Maybe give me like second to third and then shift into fourth. You don't have to run it to the top of fourth, but just try to give me a little bit of data there.
Yeah, so are you wanting me to go like 2,500 on second gear all the way up to third?
No, great question. Let's start about 4,000.
Okay.
As if you were going to do a roll race.
Yeah, and second.
And then yep, and then just simulate a race for me.
Yeah, guys, I might need to put my camera down for this one just so you guys can get some audio. but I just want to be safe. So for this guy, I'm gonna put the camera down. You guys should still be able to at least hear it. That way we can do this safely. Bro, this thing moves.
I am loading it up now. Hang on one sec.
And I uploaded that correctly, right? Like the last one, so that I did it the right way.
Oh man, you did it perfect. Yeah,
Cool.
Dude. You saved me so much time. It's insane.
That's good.
This is great. All right, let's see what we got here. Throttle.
And I went all the way to the top of fourth.
Yeah, it's running good. Let me check timing. All right, so that cylinder's clean. A little bit up at the top. 1 or 2 little corrections up top. Otherwise, it's pretty clean. How did it feel? You moved to the gears okay?
Good, yeah. One thing I guess I have a question on is, I think it's my 3rd to 4th gear shift. Like sometimes when I shift, it just bangs, it goes right in the next gear, and like the air sound from the engine bay doesn't change. But then sometimes when you bang gear, it feels like it almost is like releasing more air, and it almost feels like it like bogs it a little bit. So I don't know if that's just...
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, it should run through the gears crispy, right? It does. Now, here's one thing that does kind of match up with what you're saying. When you do the 3rd to 4th, at the top of 3rd, it starts to apply a rev limit. The rev limit prediction kicks in at the top of 3rd, and you can see it throws a 2048. And then when you shift the gear, it kind of does its normal shift, and then it catches and goes.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe I wonder if that 2048 is what you're feeling, making me earn my money today. All right, so this one's going to take me a minute. So if you want to, let's try to get it to full E85 or at least above E70. It'll be ready by the time you're filled up.
Okay, perfect.
So good question. I'm working on it now.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll stay tuned, and yeah, I'll let you know when I'm fully filled up.
All right, bye. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's like some of you guys might be able to hear it from the video. 2nd to 3rd is like boom, like it's lightning. Like it feels quicker than a DCT. It's crazy. But then that 3rd to 4th, it almost feels like it bogs it. It's like you can feel the induction, and instead of it just going boom, like banging that next gear, it almost is like it like drops pitch, and it feels slower. Like it feels like it's almost like limiting the engine from its momentum. We'll get it figured out. Like I said, this is fun. Now we're gonna do some E85 for once. First time ever doing E85 big turbo since fueling, to where we can really turn this car up. Because before, when I didn't have any fueling upgrades, but I had the turbo upgrade, right? So I had the big turbo, but I didn't have any. We were just on the TU pump. It was slower than it is now. I mean, that fuel pump was struggling, even on pump gas. Even when we went up to like E20, E30, it was just, the fuel pump could not hang with this setup. So now, this is the first time we're ever actually gonna be able to open this thing up. It's gonna get interesting, man. I mean, this car already feels so quick. I can't imagine what a little bit of ethanol is gonna do. Or I shouldn't say little, I should say a lot, because I mean, hopefully we're gonna be over E70. My transmission, man, it's gonna be an interesting one. So here we go. We're gonna drive to the ethanol station. I will see you guys on the flip side. And just one more look at those V58 mountains. Just around this corner is VP Racing. It's the only ethanol station in Central Oregon for miles. We're talking like hundreds of miles. There's one in Portland, but this is the only one here in Central Oregon. Check her out. Man, I'm excited. I've never put full ethanol in my tank before. I've only done like E50, E40, like, you know, obviously I've calculated, I've mixed it, but I've never been able to just dump the entire tank filled with ethanol. So this is gonna be fun. We do have an open spot. Perfect. Cool, I'm gonna back her in here and we'll get pumping. What's up with all this UPS, dude? It's a UPS convention. And I just dropped under 44 miles of range. This is perfect. You could not ask for a better setup. Truthfully, you could not. So let's put some E85 in. All right, here we go. 900 wheel horsepower right here, baby. 900 wheel. Gonna push the start. Should zero us out. And we will get pumping. I'm gonna guess 14 gallons. It's probably gonna put in 14 gals of E85 here. But man, it pumps slow, look at that. All right, this might take a second. So we're just gonna take a break real quick. Topped out at pretty much 12 gallons, which is interesting. It's saying that that's a full tank. Huh, hopefully my fuel sending unit is still not busted, because that's interesting. All right, first time E85 start. Oh, it starts. I gotta go pee really bad, so I gotta find a place to use the bathroom, and then we will let the ethanol circulate through our system for a little bit, and we're gonna see what E content we're gonna end up at. I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. We only did 12 gallons. This is like a 15.6 gallon tank. Let's fingers crossed that we're over E70. That's all I care about. We gotta be over E70. If we're over E70, I think that's good enough for me, because we're probably not even gonna turn it up, you know, to that much anyway, but we'll see. All right, time to use the bathroom. Our ethanol content is starting to climb. We're at E30 already. It's going up and up and up as the sensor is reading. Hopefully we're above E70. That would be ideal. That would definitely be ideal. We're at 50, we just crossed 50. I don't know if you guys can even see that. You guys see that? 60, oh, we're in the 60s. Can we hit 70? I'm gonna predict we're probably right at E70. I think that's gonna be our money number, which is good. That's kind of what we were looking for. I know David was asking for that number as well. So we're not full E85, but we're gonna be like right there. And that's gonna be more than enough E to make some insane power. I'm gonna wait until David gets back to us. But dude, the downshift just already feels so much more aggressive. I was about to say something and I'm getting distracted right now. Like the blips are just super, super aggressive compared to pump, which I don't know if that's normal or if that's supposed to be like that. But yeah, we're gonna wait for David to get back with those tables. We're gonna get a new log, we're gonna flash, and we should be doing our first ethanol flash here, which is gonna be pretty fun. So yeah, still at E72. I think that's gonna be our magic number, probably like right at E70. I think he's gonna be really happy. And real quick, just so you guys can see, there it is. That is our ethanol content. So it's going between 69, 70. I think it's gonna be pretty much in between those two. It sometimes fluctuates. There it is, see, back up to 70. I think he's gonna be happy with that. And I've never had the car this high in ethanol before. So this B58 is probably loving this. It is loving this E. All right, we're gonna call David real quick and update him. I just filled it up with E85. It looks like we're right around E69, E70. It keeps bouncing back and forth between the two. So I hope that's adequate.
Ideally, I'd like it to be over E70.0.
Okay.
But we'll you know, it's so close to the break point that I think it'll be okay. What I would say is maybe if you want to drive it around and maybe put a little bit more E in it and see if you can get it above E70, that'd be cool. I have to, like I said, I'm going to be gone for about an hour.
Perfect.
So you got some time. I defined all but 2 of those tables. It's just something to help with the rev limit so it doesn't do that cut. I'm going to have to probably chip away at that and see if I can find those addresses.
So same file, you just want me to rip around on that, and then by that time when you're back from your appointment, you'll have the new one and we'll flash that. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah. Then,
okay.
Like I said, like these changes aren't going to have anything to do with power. This is mostly just fixing the rev limit, making sure that it shifts quick for you.
Okay. So, awesome. Yeah, well, sounds like a plan.
All right, man. Well, do your thing, and I will. I'll talk to you here in a little bit.
Cool. Sounds good. Cheers. Thanks again, David.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you. No problem. Bye.
We should probably drive around for a little bit, romp on the E85, you know, get as much pump gas as we can out of the car. So then that way we'll be over E70 by the time we refill. I'll go grab something to eat. You guys want to keep tuning in, man. This is where it's going to get fun. So make sure you guys don't go away. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen, man. E80, E75 in this thing. Man, I don't know if I'm prepared. I don't know if these tires are prepared. I don't know if this transmission is prepared, and definitely my phone mount here or camera mount is not gonna be prepared. So we got a lot of things that could go wrong, but fingers crossed, I think we're gonna be able to, I don't know, make it through on the other side, and it's gonna be a fun one. All right, guys, so we had a change of plans. I've decided we are gonna hit up some Cafe Yum. I'm gonna basically open this thing up a little bit. First time, what are we at right now? So it dropped down to 63. So our E-content's saying 63, so it definitely decreased. And that usually happens, so hopefully we can get it over E70 once we drive around for a little bit. But I can already tell, I haven't got on it yet, but this car, it wants to go. Like, this thing wants to move. I can feel the G's. You know, when it starts putting you back into your seat, pump gas, you have that for like a little bit and it's a very small sensation, but I just barely gave it some throttle on just, you know, sport mode, not in manual mode. And we got a little over 3K RPM, and I can feel that thing wanting to spool up and just put me back. So I'm gonna see how much boost we're gonna get up to. I'm not gonna floor it all the way up to redline. I'm gonna maybe shift down to like 4th gear, and we're gonna see how much PSI this thing's gonna crank out. I'm gonna guess maybe like 27, 28 right now is what he has me set at. So let's see. Down here, there's our E85 count, 63. We're gonna go downshift, downshift, downshift. So this is 4th gear right now, and I'm gonna open her up and we're gonna see what our boost is at. Here we go, to the floor. All right. So that wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like, you know, like, oh my God, whoa. But I saw, most boost I saw was 28.8. And we got up to maybe like 5K RPM. So I think you might have me set at like 29, maybe 30 right now. It's crazy. The sensation you get when you're, you know, in that boost range, it's like you are just put back in your seat. Like you can feel the energy. I'm excited, man. This thing is gonna be so rowdy, and so far it seems like our tires are hooking. Obviously we're in 4th gear and we're still at a pretty high mile per hour, and we still have traction on technically. So, all right, well, this is some good little pre-game fun. We're gonna go get some lunch at Cafe Yum. We're gonna refuel our ethanol, and then hopefully we can start really logging this thing, and I'll be interested to see what he's gonna turn us up to. There she blows. Cafe Yum is in our sights. She's being a good citizen right there. Okay. Yep. She wants to wait. Shout out to all my Cafe Yummers in the chat, I must say. Yeah, I hope this place is open. This is like a ghost town right now. All right, fellas, so I'm gonna go get a large hot and jazzy. That's my go-to. I can already smell the ethanol, the sweet smell of ethanol. Let's go out there and see. Let's see if we can get a whiff. Okay, I could probably pull her up just a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, I can't even really smell it. The Cafe Yum shot. There you guys have it. All right, I'm gonna pull her up just a little bit, and we're gonna get our hot and jazzy on, and I'll see you guys after. And just for reference, it is 11 a.m. my time. We started this probably around 7, maybe. So it's been a good 4 hours of tuning, just going back and forth. Technically, it's been 3 hours until his appointment. I guess we'll see how much longer it's gonna take us throughout the day. I'd be surprised if we don't actually fully finish tuning today, because I've seen him up pretty late. So yeah, I guess this will be a first time. I mean, a lot of you guys are probably new to this whole tuning thing, and even myself, like, this is my first time ever doing full E85 tuning, and just this year, this is my first time ever actually owning a car where I tune it. Or not where I tune it, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Definitely some learning experiences for all of us, and I don't really have any complaints so far. It's been pretty smooth. Once we really start turning it up, I think that's where, I mean, if stuff's gonna go wrong, it's, you know, stuff's gonna go wrong, especially once we're over 435 PSI. I mean, that's a lot. On some Gen 1s, Trevor's, his 340 has the same turbo, 6769, and they're looking to turn it up past 40. Which is just insane. So we're gonna see what happens with that. That's gonna kind of be like a first, gonna kind of be like an experiment to see what these DA turbos are capable of. It's gonna get rowdy here very, very soon, fellas. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in for this, and you know, the community we have, and it's just fun, you know. It makes it so much more than it really is. You know, if I was just doing this by myself, it would still be fun, but it's just a bonus. Like, it's such a privilege to be able to, you know, have this technology and share this stuff with you guys. And yeah, I wouldn't want it to be any other way. Sincerely, I appreciate the support. We're all in this together, and we're all gonna have 1,000 horsepower family sedans. The U240 guys, same thing, you know, Supras. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, we're gonna drive around and see how much E we can burn. I might get some stretches in at the park, maybe look at the car one more time, get some more carbon shots, and then Mr. Shoup should be hitting my line any second now. And this is what the downshifts sound like. This is obviously E60, so definitely aggressive. Yeah, it wants the boogie, man. That was like maybe 70% throttle. Like, this car just wants to go. How our tires are doing. I just gotta say, carbon has gotta be one of my favorite things. And this is like an $800 piece off Alibaba. I think it's still valid, it still gets the job done. Fitment is okay. But, I mean, even the headlights. Guys, these are Alibaba right here, but look at, they're cracking. So that's a no-no. But no, I'd really wanna stop and check the tires just to see if we are shredding anything off of this tread. It seems pretty good though. The G20s, they are rear wheel bias. So I think it's like a 4% split. It's like 48-52, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I could be wrong, but correct me in the comments. But so far it seems to be running good. No issues yet. Let's just pop the engine bay just in case though. Because I mean, this is the first time we've ever really cranked up the boost. So just want to make sure nothing exploded. Oh yeah, look at this. That right there, that froth is water. It's like an oil water foam mixture. And like, look at how much it's sprayed over all these random parts. You guys see this? Look at that. So fellas, black market catch can. I think this foam insert they use is just not very ideal, because this is what happens. And I just get like an oil water foam mixture everywhere. Manifold feels pretty cold. Charge pipe's not too bad. Intake is looking good. Yeah, guys, I think we're looking solid here. I think we are looking solid. All right. Cool. Well, we're still waiting for Mr. Shoup. I mean, at this point, I should have just got like a picnic blanket and laid out and tried to get maybe a tan here in the wintertime before it goes away, because it is supposed to snow sometime next week. Yeah, and then same thing, guys. We still have one more mod for this exterior wise. I think it's gonna look crazy. If you guys like this, then you might like what's coming next. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I might have just gave it away, to be honest. But if you guys made it this far in the video, I feel like you should know. There's that, and then obviously the transmission. Trying to decide between a couple different brands right now. We have Pure Stage 2, ATS Applied Torque Solution Stage 2, and then even the spool one, which is not bad. That's probably like the best budget option. But from what I've heard, ATS is the one to go with, the Applied Torque Solutions. So I think I'm gonna be hitting them up. They just got great value. ATS is what I am leaning towards, and we are gonna do the Stage 2. I think there's like 2 more things we wanna add as well. Some kind of piston, like forged piston, and then I think like the E-drum. I think it's an E-drum, yeah. So 2 little things we can upgrade on top of that. So it should probably run me like $5 grand for that whole package, which obviously it is an investment, and I had to think a lot about with this car and what I want to do with it in the future. I thought about getting a G80 for a really long time, but now that I'm so deep into this build, I think we're just gonna stick with this. You know, there's no reason to get a G80 right now. We could build the trans on this. We can max this guy out. We can go for a world record hybrid setup. I might switch back to catless just for that. And then I think we might have some fun with some other stuff. I think we need to have some American muscle though. I think some V8. Thinking maybe a sweet melody of the LT4, if you guys know what engine that is in. I'm thinking we get something fun, something maybe manual, something that is gonna rip. That's gonna be kind of the idea with that. And then sometime maybe in the spring, we will, I don't know, move on to something like that and keep this, and then maybe in the future sell this and get a G80. I don't know. I think that's maybe the plan, because right now this thing's getting the job done. There's really no reason to switch, and we're pretty far into it, so might as well just, you know, top it off, finish it. All right, I'm gonna get back in the car. Actually, I'm gonna stand out here and get some sun. We're gonna tan for a little bit. I don't need to film that unless you guys wanna see me tan. And then Shoup should be hitting my line. I'm headed back to the E85 station right now. I feel like when I try to say E85 quick, it's a tongue twister. E85, 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 E85. So hopefully this will put us over our threshold, which is E70. We want to be over E70. So hopefully they're going to give us enough juice here, enough ethanol. I can even test it, technically. I have a little ethanol testing kit right here. I can see it's in that little thing right next to the cloths or whatever. All you do is fill it with water, and then you add, obviously, ethanol, and then it tells you what it comes out to. I just don't have any water right now. I have sparkling water, but I don't think that's gonna work. And then I think I'm gonna give Shoup a buzz, get him off his lunch break. You know, we gotta wake him up here. We're hitting it. Perfect. Look at that. Back to VP, baby. We're gonna try this side though. We're gonna see if this side's got better E85. That time, it looks like it took 3 gallons pretty much. Jeez, just driving around all that was 3 gallons. That's crazy. I forgot ethanol is not as efficient as pump. So, all right, we're gonna give Shoup a call.
Hi, you've reached David with David Shoup Tuning. I'm currently unavailable.
You guys aren't gonna believe this, but David just called me right when I put the camera down. I didn't have time to take it out, but he wants me to do a 2500 to 4500 log, 4th gear with ethanol. And I know he said that, but let's just say we've definitely been a little higher than that. I haven't gone all the way to red line yet. I think the highest we went was like maybe a little over 5, which should be fine. So I don't think there'll be any issues. The biggest thing for me though is just making sure that this ethanol keeps on chirping up. The closer we can get to E70, the better. Thank you, brother. Oh, we're at 64. I'm looking at it down here. Let's see. 65. Back down to 64. Oof. Yeah, the quality might not be up there. I have no idea what the E content is. Honestly, probably rip the log right here. Let's just do it. Oh, I gotta get my traction completely off. All right, mission success. We did it. I'm gonna send that off to Shoup, and let's see what he says. We'll give him a call right after. Check us out. We're at the go-kart track. This is the go-kart track right here. Here we go. Gonna go go-karting. Gonna go go-karting. Alright, I gotta find a place to park. Nope, can't park there. And we got Tacos El Jefe going crazy. I actually haven't even looked at an ethanol log yet, but I'm thinking 67 is gonna kind of be where we're sitting. So I'm gonna send this off via data log or data zap to David. All you guys gotta do is go to Grapholog, slide to the side, slide to the left, click this, data zap, boom. Click browse, choose files, MHD flasher, data logging. It's gonna be the most recent one. So we just did this at 41, boom. I don't know why this John will not focus. So we click open. So that guy's gonna refresh here. And then we hit save, make sure it's set to public so he can view it. And then once we have this here, oh, look at that curve. We are going to go to copy, and then this is where I will send this off to him, and we'll give him a call right now, see what he says.
Hey, Will.
Hey, I just sent you the data zap.
See what we got.
Feels good. It feels like it wants to rip.
Yeah, this is the fun part, my friend.
I know, I can't wait.
And all content was E70, my man. -3 on cylinder 3. Nothing to worry about. Knock correction's good. Boost looks nice and smooth. Everything's coming together really well. Or excuse me, at 27 load. You're making about 235 load by 4,600. I'd probably say somewhere in the 600 range.
Okay.
But we got, again, this is a short log and we got a lot more work to do. I can turn it up to like 30 and see how you like it. I could probably make it a little bit more linear to keep the torque off of it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt anything.
Okay.
But I say we go up to about 30.
Yeah.
And then see how you like it. And I've had guys where I've turned them up higher. I've turned them up to like 35. When you get to that power level, though, it tends to get a little sketchy.
Yeah.
I have had guys window the block at 35. And it's not so much on the big frames, it's on these hybrids where you can really tear shit up because they spool so fast. What I might do is if I give you that kind of boost, I won't do it till probably $5,000.
Okay.
and then I'll just ramp it in to play it safe for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to tear it up.
All right, well, so there you guys have it. I mean, I definitely am in the same boat. I don't want to do anything crazy that's going to jeopardize my transmission right now. I still want to drive this thing. I'm not ready to build the trans yet. Yeah, I just want to be gradual, okay? So it gives you guys a little bit of insight there. There's just so much stuff to understand and like things to learn with this whole platform. I just don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the engine or the car. Obviously, once we turn the power up past 700, then, you know, there's a lot of people that say, oh, you know, that's way past the limit of the stock motor and engine, but I think it's gonna be fine. I've seen people, you know, run 800 and it seems like they're pretty sturdy. Obviously, I think if I was running consistent 800 horsepower, like full E85, I'd probably build the engine, but we don't need to do that. We're gonna flash this real quick, do that log, and yeah, we're just gonna see how she feels. And I must say, indoor soccer, if you guys have ever played indoor soccer, it's gotta be one of the most cardio intensive things I've ever done in my life. I huffing and puffing. I mean, I grew up my whole entire life playing soccer, huge soccer family, and we took soccer very serious. When I used to do indoor soccer in the off season, it would kick my butt. Like, I'd be cherry red in the face. Like, I needed a new intake in there. Here we go. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. 30 PSI is, I keep feeling like I'm being redundant, very repetitive, but it's true. It's the most boost I probably ever experienced in my life right here. Start log, let's rip it. Alrighty, success. That actually wasn't that bad. We got a little bit of squirm at the end. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I was holding the steering wheel pretty tight. I feel like we nailed that. That was pretty good. I'm surprised. Good timing. So I'm gonna see if I can pull over here and just call him real quick and shoot this off.
So Will, interesting data here. What exhaust is on this car?
It is a Master of Art and Design 3.5 inch all the way back from the downpipe.
This is like a pad to the bone exhaust, right?
Yep, it's all the way back, 3.5 inch from the downpipe, just straight out, straight pipe. It's valved, but in sport mode, they're open. It's 3.5 all the way back.
Got it. Now, let me ask you this. What about the intake system? How big's the filter? What's the inlet look like?
I believe, so it's a Ram Air, so it's the DA inlet, and then I believe it's a Ram Air, either a 102 millimeter or, let me see.
Just basically a giant filter.
Yeah, it's a bigger filter than like your normal MST, like, you know, intake one that they would come with. Sean from Dynamic Auto Works said, run this filter. He's like, it'll go crazy. So I was like, all right, sure.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, here's where we're at, my friend. So the car runs great.
Yeah.
Okay. No corrections, 29.5 pounds. The boost control comes in very gradually, like I want it to protect the motor.
Yeah.
Doesn't make full boost until like in the fours, right? It's all meant to keep the torque off the bottom end. Here's what I'm looking at. So at 6,400 RPM, 6,500 RPMs, I'm at 94.5% duty cycle. That means I am using all of this turbo.
Yeah.
I would think that a 67, 69 would only be flicking in the 80s right here at 29 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not really, it's almost like it's restricted somehow.
Yeah, and you don't think that it's because the cat? You don't think it's because the cat at downpipe?
That is certainly playing a role, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, the cat is playing a role. Is it a high flow cat?
Yeah, it's an Active Auto Works high flow cat. It's a 400 cell.
Yeah, I think that's probably where our issue is. Right now, based off the way it's performing, I wouldn't really feel comfortable turning it up more and then saying it's going to last.
Yeah.
If right here, it's like the P factor, right? I've got it set to where it runs 88% duty, but my closed loop control is adding an additional almost 6% on top of my input up top. And you can see, like, after you get past about 4,800, the car has to step in and add more. If it was, I think I'm just going to let it roll like this.
Okay.
Because that's a good spot for it. It's essentially at 30 pounds. Boost is damn near perfect. I couldn't ask for a better boost curve. The fueling, one of the things that you'll like about this, and this is where your hard-earned money goes, we're utilizing the port, but we're also utilizing about as much of the DI as possible. Your MSV duration is at 94, about 4,200, and then it's still, I've kept it in the 80s all the way out to 62. You know, traditionally what you'll see is if you look at logs from other tuners, you'll see them in the 70s or, you know, maybe even lower in the 60s. So this is the benefit to where you put your hard-earned money. Now, that said, if you were to do a high-lift exhaust cam, I could pull even more port out. I could basically make this thing to where it barely uses any of the port because you have a lot of DI injector left. Though I don't want to make you spend a whole bunch more money, you know, and you don't necessarily need that modification, but if you wanted to do something better than the next guy, there's a way to do it. And you'll probably end up making a little bit more torque from it. The tune looks beautiful. I mean, boost control is smooth, doesn't knock. The load is smooth as a friggin', I don't know, crystal ball.
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with an example, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, and you
But
think the 95% duty is not going to be an issue?
I think this is a great stopping point.
Okay.
If I've got guys that are freaking nuts and they're like, "Hey Dave, let's go up to 98%, right?"
Yeah.
And I could probably give you 31, maybe 32 pounds at 98%. What's it worth to you? You know, is it worth tearing up this turbo?
Yeah.
Personally, I would rock it like this, and I would either drop down to like a 200 cell cat, or I would just say, hey, the car's in a good spot. Let's put it on the dyno. Let's work the Vanis a little bit. That'll open up a little bit more breathing, right? Yeah. And then from there, I would rock that setup and then eventually save up and put a full frame with a 72 on it.
I'm thinking the 200 cell cat, I think is kind of the money one I'm looking for, because the full catless, you know, just the pontoon boat smell, and I like to cruise with the windows down, sunroof popped. I mean, like, that's just not even enjoyable. The 400, I don't get any smell, but the issue now that we're running into is obviously a little bit more restriction. So I think the 200 might be the perfect in between, like the perfect middle ground. And I think that if we throw that on, you know, it might give it a little bit more, like you said, a little bit more breathing room turbo wise, so we're not, you know, as restricted, and we could probably open it up just a little bit more, you know. So I don't know what you think about that, but that's kind of my thoughts on it. Is, yeah, I think a 200 cell might be perfect. And I checked, the filter is 102 millimeter ram air intake, and then I have a full 3.5 all the way back, you know, from the downpipe. So it's got to be the downpipe, unless I have like some boost leak or something, which I'd be surprised.
I could lean on it a lot harder and get it to come in probably a decent amount faster, maybe another 200 or 300 RPMs faster. But honestly, I don't want to do it. I've had hybrids window the block before, and I just don't feel like putting you in that position.
When I send you this multi-gear log, do you want me to do that second gear from what RPM up to fourth?
Yep, you got it. Same exact thing.
So, or do you want me to do second gear at 4K RPM, or do you want me to start that at a 2500?
No, don't do 2500.
So do like 4K.
Second at 4K.
Okay.
Yeah, give me like a 40 roll.
Okay.
You know, like if you were out racing with your buddies, give me exactly what you would do if you're starting second.
Cool. Yeah, I'll rip that right now. I'll send it over. I'll give you one final call. You can tell me how it looks. If it's good, we'll wrap it up here, and then I'll get that cat in the mail, or that downpipe in the mail, and then we'll have some more fun another day. I'll figure out a time, you know, schedule wise for them, for the dyno, and then I'll coordinate that with you.
That sounds good. Let me know.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Talk to you in a little bit.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it right there. Definitely, it's got to be the cat. I mean, 400 cell, like David said, we're at 94% duty cycle. So definitely still in a safe range, but it is a little bit dicey. You know, anytime you're over 95, at least from what I've heard, that's when stuff can start going wrong. I think we can get away with a 200 cell high flow cat, just so we get a little bit of that exhaust smell restricted, and it's not like crazy raspy. The catless is just too raspy for me, man. If anything, the smell was a big deal, but the raspiness was just horrible. So we'll try the 200 cell cat, and hopefully I want to try to get this thing like 750 wheels, what I'm looking for. But we'll send this log over to him right now, and we'll see where we're at. But very interesting data, and we're gonna run this right now. just went flying out of my pants. That's how much torque we just threw back. Man, on 225s too, this thing hooked. 225 squared all seasons. Still hooked right there. On like a 40 roll. And you heard David, he said like 650 around that wheel, give or take. So that is very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Hey, Will.
Alrighty, I just I ripped it. Data logs should be in your inbox, and I will say it. I mean, man, I'm still on my 225 all season setup right now because the winter, and it's surprisingly hooked, which was interesting. But yeah, it banged through the gears.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, obviously, like I said, man, we're leaving a little bit of power on the table.
Yeah.
So, there's that. But
which I much rather do. Yeah.
When you can, I would go into XHP, and I would make sure that your rev limiter is set to I would set it to, if it's not 7,000, I would set it there, and I would probably consider maybe even bumping it up to like 7,200. That way, the red line prediction will do its thing. But from a boost control standpoint, the car runs great. When you run it through the gears, it actually drops duty cycle just a little bit. In theory, I guess I could feed it a little bit more, but I don't really want to mess with it. I think sometimes you leave it alone.
Yeah, I agree.
The MSD duration is in the 80s and the 90s, so we're utilizing all the available DI pump. Looking at let's see, where's my DI injector? There we go. So we're only at 43% utilization of your DI injectors.
Wow.
So if you did a high lift cam, I could bump that up a lot. So that would also help tremendously with efficiency, because PI doesn't help with that. It tends to cause the duty cycle to rise a little bit.
Yeah.
So because you're losing those benefits, but I can't imagine where it'd be if you didn't have that. It would run a lot more without it. I think what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to send you one more tune here though, and then that'll be the final rev, and we'll be good to go. I'm going to set it to where when the car gets above about 90 degrees, I'm going to have it drop a degree of timing. We'll keep it a little safer for you.
Okay.
But other than that, you're good to go. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm excited for this.
She runs good.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to, allocate some of your day to help me with this. And it was a learning experience, and I think we're going to get this guy dialed in. We just need to, tweak some things, and I think we're going to have a good setup. So thank you again, David. Guys, I apologize. I know this is a long video, but for me, this really opened my mind, and it kind of exposed places we can, improve, and it's kind of where we're at right now. Still a lot left to go with this car here, and if you guys made it this far in the video, man, I really appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys are kind of in this boat with me as well, especially with the Gen 2 stuff, these new turbo lines, fueling, trying to figure out tuners to work with and stuff. But I mean, you guys saw a perfect example there. David is such a good guy. I mean, he's so easy to work with, super humble, and really has passion for what he does. Definitely in today's age, that's very rare, especially kind of in the car world. So big shout out to him for his help and taking the time to try to get this thing dialed in, man. Man, I thought this 400 cell Cat, I love the way it sounds, and I love the the refinement, and that there's no smell, and there's like virtually no drone and comfort. I mean, it feels like a normal car, but I think the 200 cell is gonna be the money on this thing. I mean, full catless, this thing would rip, but I just think from a functional standpoint and a utilitarian standpoint, it's not worth it. I think we are going to probably go 200 cell and hopefully call it at that. And I think we'll be like right at 750 once we do the Vanos. You guys are curious about what kind of power you'd make, this is a perfect example. We're only using 43% of our DI on this guy, which is insane. So this car has so much left in it. Oh man, I mean, even if I had a bigger turbo, this thing would be nuts. Like a 72, 75, this thing would absolutely rip. But obviously I want this to be a nice daily. I'm not going for like a world record build right now, at least. Fellas, I think that's all for today. Also, stay tuned. I don't know if you guys heard or not, but we're gonna be doing some dyno stuff, and then we can really see how much power this guy's making. All right, we're gonna throw it on the dyno jet. Obviously, Shoup's gonna mess with our Vanos. He's gonna get us, little tweaks here and there to see if we can get some more power, but that's gonna be a really, really fun day. By that time, hopefully we have the 200 cell, and we can really see how much power this guy makes, hopefully over 700. Fellas, once again, much love. Stay tuned. This is gonna get crazy. aesthetically as well. It's gonna be crazy. We still got a couple mods to do and it will be perfected. Stay tuned. I keep saying that, but truthfully, I will see you guys in the next one, and I cannot thank you enough for the support. So much love.